I put my last dime on a long shot bet. Chart looked shaky, had me dripping in sweat. Whiskey in one hand, mouse in the other, praying to the market like it's my blood brother. Thought I lost it all, felt the walls cave in. Then that candle shot up like a tailgate grin. I was one tick from broke, one sip from crying. Put my rent on a trade, had my hands to the sky, man. But I rode that dip like a drunk on a bull. Now I'm pissing out whiskey and pockets stay full. Boss called twice, said, son, where you at? Told him I just made more than his whole paycheck. Damn. Wall Street wolves tried to take me down, but I rode that squeeze like a bull through town. Had one foot in the grave, one foot on the gas. Now I'm pouring out shots, screaming, kiss my ass. I was one tick from broke, one sip from crying. Put my rent on a trade, had my hands to the sky, man. But I rode that dip like a drunk on a bull. Now I'm pissing out whiskey and pockets stay full. Bet against me, man, that's just cute. I cash out winners while you chase a dispute. Whiskey neat, yeah, my hand's still steady. Market's looking wild, but my sales already. One tick from broke, one sip from crying. Put my rent on a trade, had my hands to the sky, man. But I rode that dip like a drunk on a bull. Now I'm pissing out whiskey and pockets stay full.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother.
Honestly, I feel like I don't even need to do the voice alteration when I'm this nasally anyway. I feel like that just is where my voice goes. I go to the classic, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Like, that's not even a voice modification. It's just, I guess, when my nose is this plugged up, I naturally sound like your favorite artist, Corn on the Cob, Kohrs on the Cob. Kohrs on the Cob likes a lot of corn on the cob. I'm going to be honest with you. If you guys ever come to see me in concert, don't forget to bring your favorite corn on the cob, and it's a classic thing. Just toss it around in the crowd. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys. If you want to come to that concert, just make sure to bring your corn. That would be absolutely sick. It's just going to be a thing that we do time and time again. So don't forget that. And it doesn't have to necessarily be on the cob. Obviously, it's preferred. But if you want to bring canned corn, that's all right. If you want to bring cornbread, that's also acceptable. Anything corn or corn adjacent is definitely welcomed at all of the concerts. So I just wanted to bring that up. I'm getting a lot of questions back and forth about it. So I just figured I'd make a public statement related to the state of corn and how it relates to like what we're doing. So I do appreciate you guys joining me at the crack of dawn. Here we are at 9 a.m. I don't even think the world's up yet. No one's up at 9 a.m. But here we are because we take our degenerate gambling in the world's largest casino that seriously. And we have some interesting things going on this morning. The equities market, old stonks, have been going down, down, down. But we're seeing a little bit of a relief this morning. So a little bit of a bounce there. But on the flip it side, we have crypto having a legitimate breakdown. Right now, in real time, Bitcoin is sub 87,000, which was a very important shelf. We're below it. And like Elf on the Shelf, when you fall off, you're losing it from the North Pole. So there's a real shot that this might set up a capitulation in Bitcoin to sub 70,000, low 70,000. So we'll be talking about that. If you're an active trader, obviously a swing trader, a day trader, clearly playing Bitcoin to the downside is smart. But if you're an investor, little movements like this shouldn't bother you. I don't really actively trade Bitcoin. I've tried it here and there, but in reality, when you're trading futures and options and equities anyway, there's only so much time in the day. So I'm just a Bitcoin investor. So if it keeps dipping, guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to buy more when I believe that it is bottoming out. So we're going to touch on that. Obviously, I have some individual equity updates. I have some individual indice updates. And then also we're going to get into just the recent political drama. So I hope that sounds good to everyone. I do want to remind you, it is hump day, and this particular hump day is probably going to be on a relative basis the most quiet day of the week, just because we don't really have any major macroeconomic events. And then the big thing that's going to move the market is actually after the market closes today, when we're going to be getting Nvidia's earnings. So I just want to let you know that I'm expecting moves today. I just think that they're not going to be as crazy as Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm not saying it's going to be a boring, like nothing day. Of course it might be, but just on a relative basis, I think things are going to be a little bit more calm. So who knows? I mean, this is just a guess. We're just throwing out some realistic, I guess, opinions of what could be playing out just on looking at the schedule, but you never know. So I just want everyone to be kind of prepared to understand that we're in a little bit of a stall pattern, because Nvidia reports after the market closes today. Just so you know, the expected move is slightly above 8%. Tomorrow we get the GDP report, and on Friday we get the inflation PCE report. So those are the major things. Also on Friday, we're going to be getting some updates related to Trump and Putin and Zelensky and the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. So that's coming down. Next week, we're going to be getting an update related to tariffs with Canada and Mexico. We're also getting the unemployment report. So really, in the short stretch of things, I just believe that today, which might be crazy, is still just going to be less crazy than what we've recently had and what we're going into. So it's not really the calm before the storm. It's the smaller storm before the larger storm. It's almost like we're in the eye of a hurricane, except in the eye of the hurricane, there's another little mini hurricane, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a double hurricane situation where we're in one, it's just not as bad as the other ones. I think you guys are following the analogy. You guys are pretty smart. Matt, you look tired. Well, fuck you. You look tired. Sorry, I'm just sick, and I had the nasal drip on my throat, so I woke up with a super sore throat, which put me on, like, it made me have a bad day. I don't know what to say. I'm tired. Sue me. This is what it looks like when you either have, I don't know if it's seasonal allergy. I actually don't know what it is. All I could tell you is my nose is so incredibly stuffed up. At least it's not the flu where my body aches and everything. It's all just in the nose. And I don't know, maybe I should get one of those, like, what are they even called? Like, where you like put the machine up and it like drains out your nose. Maybe I need to do that. So I don't know, but you know what will make me better? You know what will make me less tired is if we can make some tendies today. And it is on that note, let's switch it up a wee bit. So the SPY, pretty solid recovery ever since 1130. Q's pretty solid recovery ever since 1130. So that is giving a little bit of hope in the realm of equities. I do want to call out that the volatility of the S&P 500 is still pretty high. We're clocking in right at 19. But what I'm seeing over here is Bitcoin is getting annihilated, which is making me uniquely happy because I currently do have coin puts and I do have MSTR puts. I do want to call out, before the market opens, according to the option structure, the last line of defense on MSTR was 250. The fact that we're below that, if MSTR doesn't quickly capture it, and also because of the leveraged nature of the Bitcoin structure within MSTR, this might have a quick push all the way down to the realm of 200. So I'm excited to see if that plays out. So I'm stoked about my crypto plays, not so stoked about my equity plays, but you never know. The market's not open. You never know what market open's going to bring. So we have a lot to discuss. S&P 500 futures rise after our fourth losing day, and Nvidia earnings are coming up after the market closes, as I alluded to. Let's kick it off with the political drama. Ukraine agrees to mineral rights deal with the U.S. Trump says he will meet Friday with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Apparently, that's when we're going to put some ink to pen, or ink ink to paper, dude, you know you're feeling a little bit foggy in the brain when you can't even come up with the most basic of idioms. Anyway, I think we're putting ink to paper, maybe pen to paper. Maybe we're putting why can't the paper come to the pen? I don't know. These are all very valid questions. But anyway, my point is that a thing that's been pretty tense for quite a while and also has a large economic impact based on the fact that we've given them $100-200 billion might be coming to an end soon here. Obviously, there might be a bit of a benefit if we do get the mineral rights to the area. We know that the Trump team and the Putin team, the U.S. team and the Russian team have been speaking a little bit. So what's interesting is tensions have been getting higher with Ukraine, but then from the U.S. vantage point, and higher with Ukraine and higher with the EU and Canada and Mexico, all pretty much considered to be allies, but yet tensions are coming down with Russia and China. So we're kind of in the upside down, tipsy-turvy world. So I just want to shout out to that. Probably going to be bigger news on Friday. And don't forget, the news on Friday related to this is also going to be coming on the coattails of the inflation report. House Republicans advanced Trump's tax cut plan. Obviously, in this world, when you go from the House, then you go to the Senate, then it could get signed into law. This one's piquing a lot of people's interest because it has the no tax on tips, the no tax on overtime, and the no tax on one more thing that is escaping me at this moment in time. I'm sure someone in chat knows. So a lot of people are excited to see if this does or doesn't go through. But remember, just to give you a quick gov reminder, once you pass the House, then you have to go to the Senate, then from the Senate, then you get signed into law by the president. Tax cuts chances rise as House passes budget targeting a safety net.
The tax cuts just narrowly passing the House.
A lot of head shaking.
Just narrowly, and we'll have to see what happens when they go to the Senate. This is really the beginning of a long road for Speaker
Social
Johnson
Security
to drive this through.
Okay.
So this blueprint
Thank you. I appreciate
has
that.
$4.5 trillion worth of tax cuts over the next decade. It would, prolong the Trump tax cuts from 2017, which are set to expire at the end of this year. And it would add to the deficit. The federal spending cuts that it calls for are in the range of $2 trillion. And it isn't entirely clear what is going to be cut. That's what's going to obviously be the biggest problem here. Most of the cuts are aimed at programs that are like social safety nets, Medicaid, and this is going to be a problem for the Republicans. They only had a very narrow majority to pass this in the House. Everyone but one Republican ended up voting for it. But when it goes to the Senate, you're also going to it's going to get some changes, and those changes are also going to be pushed back around these cuts because many of these people come from districts or areas that have quite a few constituents who are on Medicaid or who receive food assistance or other programs or benefit from other programs to help the poor and the disabled that come from the government. So they're going to be slow to recognize those cuts. If, at the same time, if you don't have those cuts, there's a provision that's going to take down the amount of tax cuts that are available, and we'll just see where it comes out because Johnson is going to have to get on board a lot of fiscally conservative Republicans who are not very keen about a growing budget deficit over the next 10 years. He's going to need their votes to put it through.
So this might surprise you, but as we commonly hear in the world of politics, it's going to be a classic wait and see type of a situation. So we're going to see how this one plays out. But I just wanted to start covering the narrative with you because it might end up becoming a big deal. Trump proposes a $5 million gold card that would grant U.S. residency. So I don't know about you guys. I've heard about green cards before, but apparently now you can just buy your way in. President would end existing program offering green cards to people who invest in America. So it's a little bit of a switch up. President Trump said Tuesday that he would allow wealthy individuals to pay $5 million for a gold card that would grant them permanent U.S. residency, ending an existing program that offers green cards to people who invest in the country. So it sounds like there was already a pathway to get a green card via this, but now it's just a straight up, you can buy it, which I thought was interesting. I'm not the most knowledgeable about it. In fact, I just thought it was kind of interesting to share. I don't know if it's positive or negative. I'm sure those of you in chat, maybe if you're a little bit more informed, you have deeply rooted opinions. I'll be honest, I just thought it was interesting. Never heard of it before. I wanted to share it with you. I'm not passing a judgment on if this is good or bad. I'm just fully admitting I am unaware if it's good or bad. It seems like an interesting way to attract very wealthy individuals. Now, are they wealthy individuals that we want? Are they going to be running from something? Is this a net good, a net bad? Like I said, I'm by no means an expert on it. I'm fully admitting it. If anything, I wanted to cover it to get your thoughts on it, because I'm sure some of you in chat have a deeper knowledge of if this is going to be a quality, beneficial decision, or if it's just like a tax grab or like a money grab, but for the government. But on the government level, 5 million is kind of nothing. So I don't know. I was kind of looking for your thoughts and opinions on it. But very quickly, pivoting over to the market, the economy, monetary policy. Not much scheduled today, Wednesday, February the 26th. If you're an energy trader, yep, we have crude oil inventories, new home sales, which have been going down and down and down. But really, there's nothing on the docket today. It all gets exciting tonight with Nvidia, and I'll be covering that more in a second. And then tomorrow morning, before the market opens, we get the GDP report. And then before the market opens on Friday, we get the PCE report. And speaking of the economy, just taking a step back, China to inject at least 55 billion of fresh capital into several big banks. First batch includes, all right, these banks, if you guys are trading them at all, move as part of an economic stimulus package unveiled last year. So this has been kind of the tune for the past 6, 12 to 18 months, that China, from an economic standpoint, really related to its shadow banking, related to its real estate, and really just the discontent of the people within the country. China is falling behind, folks. It has not been growing, and even the numbers that they're reporting, they're like, no, we're totally growing. I think anyone that's been around the block a couple times realizes, do we really want to trust those numbers, especially when we know that every couple quarters, China's, as a government, is stepping back in and saying, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. So it always blows my mind that over the past couple of years, we're hearing a lot of rhetoric from some of the biggest people on Wall Street: invest in China, invest in China, invest in China. And you know what an investment in China has done over the past couple of years? Nothing but lose money. And now we're getting to this where the government's stepping in to try to get people. I mean, remember, they were jacking up the market. They were giving favorable loans for people to get a second home. They were telling corporations to do stock buybacks. They were kind of pulling all the levers they possibly had to try to get things going. And it seems like they have to do more and more and more. So be careful on this. But what is interesting, the one China-based stock that I personally follow here is Baba, which has been crushing. Obviously, it's a little dangerous to chase it right now. I think a solid entry would have been on this EMA crossover. You could have got this breakout on February 7th. It's a little bit chasing now, but I know some of you have been following this. But look at this. This thing might be a huge base and an overall recovery. Be interesting to see if we fast forward 2 to 3 years, if Baba can be pushing 300 once again. So kind of calling this out as a potential long-term swing play or shorter-term investment. I'm interested to see if this is enough of a foundational base to get it back up to 250, 280, 300. So just wanted to call that out. That's probably the main China-based company that I personally pay attention to. Now, the other big thing that I've already alluded to 18 different times is Nvidia coming out after the market closes today. And actually, if you come over to Spot Gamma, you can see the expected move is 8.76%. I believe my big head is blocking that. So let me go over here for a second. 8.76% is the expected move on Nvidia from the earnings. So wherever we close out today on old Nvidia, NVDA, expect about an 8% move, which is about $9-ish to $10-ish dollars. Very quickly, I don't think it's useful to ever predict really in terms of like actually betting money. It's 50-50. Not only are you trying to predict, do they beat, do they miss, but you're also on top of that trying to predict how will the market react, because there's been numerous examples of us, hey, okay, we think earnings are going to go well. They do go well, and the stock drops anyway, and then vice versa. We've been here many times where we've seen equities report horrible numbers, and yet they go up because of one random comment from the CEO or the CFO. So with that, not really asking you guys your prediction for if they're going to beat or miss. My question to all of you is, do you think that between tonight's market close and tomorrow's market open, do you think Nvidia is gapping up or gapping down, which I'm delineating between these two because remember, beating on earnings, missing on earnings is very, very different than your stock gapping up or gapping down. So my question is more so for the latter. From market close today at 4 p.m. to market open tomorrow at 9:30, are you in the bullish green camp on Nvidia, or are you on more of the bearish red camp on Nvidia? Right now, the trend's not so positive. Lower highs, lower lows. If anything, this might be setting up for a drop all the way to 112-ish. That is 100% possible. But once again, I think the odds of you playing this are pretty much flipping a coin. What is interesting here, let me show you this. Shout out to Spot Gamma, by the way. They are pointing out, this is a little small, so let me see if I could zoom in. Nope, it is not making it any. Is that a little bit bigger? You can see the top line is red right here, and coming into the current day, 0325, there's actually a lot more action going on the puts than there are calls. So the options market going into this is pretty much the inverse of what we've seen historically with Nvidia, where there was a lot of bullish enthusiasm going into the earnings, a lot of people punting their calls, while recently it's been a bit opposite. The calls are not so aggressive while the puts are. So does this mean that they know something? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how things are being structured going into Nvidia. It seems like we have a little bit more optimism in here. I'm seeing a lot of gap up answers. So if you're playing it, Godspeed. I personally don't plan on playing it, but if you choose to throw your money on the line, obviously I hope you crush it. With respect to other earnings that came out, Lowe's beats Wall Street expectation as it starts to break out of a sales slump, and not really earnings for today, but we got this kind of somewhat earnings related update from Supermicro. So for those of you who play this, massive congrats to you. Supermicro files financials just ahead of the NASDAQ deadline and says it regained compliance. Stock pops 22%. So SMCI, for those of you who maybe missed out a little bit on the story, it just related to some suspicions around their accounting practices. And the NASDAQ, as the exchange, said, hey, you got to fix this up or you're not trading on our exchange anymore. And right in like the 11th hour, right in the bottom of the ninth inning, right before the market closed, really right around the market close, they finally did file that 10K, and it's currently up 18%, closing out the day at 45, currently trading at 54. If you had the ball to play that, massive congrats to you. It's not really my favorite style just because I don't have any particular edge predicting on that type of like SEC compliance stuff. But if you had the balls to play it, I hope you are enjoying your tendies. If you haven't already, sign up for Locals, MattKohrs.locals.com. Not only do you get access to the free newsletter where I give you a lot of stuff, but don't forget, you could become a supporter, which is a premium member for free by using that code Goonie. You might be thinking, why would I want to join the Goonie Trading Discord? Well, yesterday alone, I made $1,350 on the premium that I sold, which would have paid for more than 2 years of full access to this service. One trade alone, more than 2 years. My entire goal of anyone who joins the Discord is I want the Discord to more than pay for itself. The value, the knowledge, the trades, the community, I want there to be so much more of an immense value there that it's a no-brainer to be in there. Obviously, Piper fired off on a $340 unit cost, which obviously you could scale this up to your heart's desire. That returns $60, which is good for 1 month of the service. So Piper fired off, my own trades, and then on top of that, we do talk about swing trades. In the past week, my swing account is up $52,000 right here past week. Past month up 38. Year to date up 47.7. So these are my real numbers, all stuff posted in real time in the Discord. Ask any of the members in there, but I'm just showing you the proof right here. Year to date up 47.7 thousand, and the past week alone up almost 53,000. So I don't know how else to convince you to take advantage of the free trial. There is no risk to you whatsoever. Use that promo code Goonie and you get the first month for free. If you like it, great, stick around. And if it's not for you, just set an alert on your calendar to cancel your account on the last day, and you never got charged anything anyway. I'm basically just trying to say, let me prove it to you for 1 month, and I think you're going to love what's going on in there. So that's why I'm putting my money where my mouth is, because I think in 1 month I could fully convince you that it is worthwhile to be in there. It's a net ahead, a net positive expected value to be in there. And hey, if you don't want to be a supporter, if you just want to be a member, you still get a lot of great freebie things, mainly the newsletter that comes out every single Sunday. I call out the earnings, all the major macroeconomic events. Here's what we have going down today. New home sales at 10 a.m. And then we do have a Bostic, the Atlanta Fed President Bostic will be speaking at noon today. Obviously, things get more exciting tomorrow and Friday. And then with respect to seasonality today, it actually is leaning bullish. Over the past 27 years, the Bulls have won this day 52% of the time, and the Bears have won it 48% of the time. So it's effectively flipping a coin. But when the Bulls win, you could see that they win with much greater size than when the Bears win. So, i.e., the seasonal bias of today individually from the S&P 500 futures market open last night at 6 p.m. to the market close today at 5 p.m. The seasonality is clearly bullish. But I do want to let you know Thursday and Friday, especially Friday, more so favoring the Bears. So I just wanted to call that all out. And then with respect to today, let me get you guys prepped up. Dude, I am not speaking well at all. My brain is complete fog. I don't know if I should be trading today. Anyway, remember, the solid green line is yesterday's high, the solid red line is yesterday's low, and the solid white line is yesterday's close. This is important because of the odds related to when you break the high or when you break the low. And if I'm right here, we are not that far away from breaking the high. We're at 5973, which puts us roughly where my cursor is. Obviously, we're opening in the green right here, not that far away from yesterday's high, but also an important resistance level. All of these horizontal golden yellow lines, they are the key option levels. As you're going to see, we're kind of like tranched out today. So right here around, let me see if I can alter this, just visibility style. All right. So we have a region of resistance, which would be your bullish target 1, and then you have a region of support, which would be your bearish target 1. It's kind of a weird 10-point region between 5,990 and 6,000. If that breaks, then I'd be looking at 6,015. And there are some levels higher up that I'll paint out for you if we get there. I just didn't want to make the chart look crazy. So that would be my bullish target number 2. Then in the bearish scenario, let's say not only we puke at open and hit yesterday's close, there is support right below yesterday's close between 5,950 and 5,940. If this doesn't hold, my next target would be 5,900 flat. So once again, bullish target 1, bullish target number 2, bearish target number 1, bearish target number 2. If things get really, really crazy, yeah, you have to watch for this downside gap fill at 5,872. And then if things get crazy to the upside, we actually might be talking closer to 6,040, 6,050. There are some big bets coming in. If you want to look at some of the structure overnight, this is the current open interest. There's a node at 5,950. There's a big node at 6,000. And then the next one is 5,900. Those are the three closest. This is the open interest change from last night till now. I do think it's noteworthy that there's been more calls traded than puts from yesterday's market close to this moment. If you're looking at the volume from last night until now, and once again, I have today's expiration, tomorrow's, and Friday's. So we're looking at 3 individual days. There's not too much action going on for tomorrow, but I am still kind of fascinated by the fact that the 5950s and the 5900s are still being aggressively played for Friday. But rewinding to today, yes, we have that node at 5950 and then 5920, which is where we bounced yesterday, and then we have a node at 5900. So those are all pretty reasonable levels. And then on the bullish side, if we could take out 6,000, pretty evident node here at 6,025. And then if you want to see if they're buying or selling, it's one thing to know the volume, but you want to know if they're going long premium or selling premium. There's some weird long premium all the way up here at 6,045. So if we get into the case of a Vana rally, this is totally possible, but we would first have to see that they are actually playing a Vana rally. What I do want to point out is there's still some aggression on the bearish side for this Friday. So not with respect to today or tomorrow, but the 5950s, people are aggressively buying those puts still. So I just wanted to call that out to everyone. And then also for today, if things get haywire, people are playing the 5875s. I don't know what they're doing, but they are long those puts. So obviously we can kind of monitor this throughout the day. Right now in pre-market trading, I would argue, I was going to say that the bulls have the upper hand, but the 5-minute and the 10-minute and the 30-minute all just lost their trend. And on the Nasdaq as well. When I got up early this morning, it was very, very evident that the bulls were in control. But right here, the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute are now bearish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute are now bearish, and the 4 hours been holding bearish. So, as always, I still think it is imperative to wait those first 10, 20, 30 minutes out of the day, identify not only the price trend, but let's also pay attention to the option trend. But I would not be doing my job well if I didn't warn all of you, be on the lookout for a Vana rally. A Vana rally is a bullish thing, and it occurs in the circumstance where volatility pops high, a lot of people pile into puts, and then all of a sudden, price bottoms out, volatility starts to collapse, people close out their puts, and then all of a sudden, because of how market makers have to hedge, we end up just getting a huge pop. Be on the lookout for a Vana rally, because right now we have many of the ingredients, but I don't know if we're going to end up cooking up that type of pie today. So just be on the lookout for that. And obviously, if I start to see it in real time, I will call it out to all of you. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Remember, you can't take it with you when you go. All right, MSTR. This is a major alert that I put out in the Discord yesterday, and I'm bearish on MSTR and on Coin, not because of those two companies individually, but because of how bad Bitcoin is right now. Bitcoin's having a legitimate breakdown, folks. I cannot stress this enough, and we know MSTR has a lot of Bitcoin on the books. We know Coin is highly correlated with the success and or failure of Bitcoin, and right now, shoulder, head, shoulder, we're snapping the neckline. I would say the last line in the sand is kind of 85,000, and if we don't go at 85, I think it's a pretty easy puke all the way down to 75. So I just want to, we've already snapped, and I do see this little wick right here, so I just wanted to call it out to everyone, but crypto is clearly getting knocked, which is not going to be the best news for Coin. It's not going to be the best news for MSTR. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. And for whatever reason, my trading view is going very, very, very slowly this morning. So as always, I don't really put much value or credence in the first couple minutes of the market open. Apple is actually breaking down. That's surprising because Apple has been like the strong equity recently. It's interesting, as soon as the market is dude, why is this taking forever? This is just going to piss me off. But I'm seeing Apple's down 1.5%, which is interesting because even in all this market chaos and like the bears kind of rearing their head, Apple's been the strong one, even with the market getting crushed. So we might be putting in just a local high here. Watch for Apple to potentially come below 241, 242. Might be making a push back to this EMA around the high 230. So just something to throw out on your radar. Remember, these are all the levels for SPX that I'm trading today. Feel free to screenshot this. Bullish target number 1, bullish target number 2, bearish target number 1, bearish target number 2. Based on my current positioning, I would rather the bear case play out if I had to pick. But remember, the game of trading is not predicting, it's just reacting. If we show strength, yeah, I'll cut all my positions and start being bullish. If I see the signs of a Vana rally playing out, of course, I'm going to switch. I'm not married to my position. I'm just going to react to whatever price tells me. Speaking of which, oops, I got to reload this. Let me get out of that. Let's get out of this. We're just kind of getting ready for the day. I don't know what happened there. Come on. 5 seconds. Let me show you guys the flow. All right, here's the flow. S&P 500 since market open's been getting hit. Mag 7 is kind of flat, not really doing a whole heck of a lot. The Nasdaq just got hit. Tesla drop, picking up right now. Coin drop, picked up, dropping again. Nvidia is kind of picking up and now going flat. And then MSTR picked up and now dropping. So we don't have that much data. We're only 3 minutes into the day. Like I said, I wouldn't say that this stuff is gospel by any means. Whoa, MSTR just got smoked in real time. someone just dumped a lot of calls on MSTR. I would assume it's the calls at 250. That's where we're seeing a lot of positioning on MSTR. So if that player leaves, basically the support could easily leave as well. But we can come back to that in a second. Just kind of seeing what the overall market is doing right here. Remember, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute are bearish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute are bearish. 4 hours bearish too. So all 8, the 5, 10, 30, and 4 hour on the S&P 500 bearish. The 5, 10, 30, and 4 hour are all bearish on the NASDAQ. So right now, price is clearly to the downside, but let's just wait. Obviously, somewhat paying attention to what in the world is going on with Bitcoin here. We know that there is big old support at 85-ish thousand. You can see it better right here. I'm just watching this final wick from Tuesday, November the 12th. I'm going to actually set an alert just so we know if that breaks down, because if it does break down, I don't really see itself catching. I don't see Bitcoin catching itself to around 75, 76. There's simply too many people playing crypto in a leveraged manner. So when things go even a little bit south, they really expand because there's so many people just getting basically margin call, getting liquidated. So watching that level for sure. And then I'm curious the impact that it's going to have on coin. I'm curious the impact that it's going to have on MSTR. So really, that's what I'm watching on the crypto sphere. Obviously, in the world of equities, we kind of dipped a little bit, might be saving itself. Remember, there might be support at 5955. That's where we closed out yesterday. And then from there, we have this region of support. And if we end up breaking to the upside, we have this region of resistance. So that's what I'll be looking at. Like I said, I'm already positioned on the bearish side. I would prefer things just vomit, but if they don't, I'm just going to have to cut my positions. And then if I see something that I like, I'll obviously switch just to being bullish in the very short period as we're waiting for this market open to really kind of play itself out. Just kind of wait. I don't know. It's a little bit of a consolidation here. I wanted to let you guys know that as of yesterday, February 25th, around 11:30 in the morning, I got approved for another $40,000 from Apex. You could see them all right here. 2K, 2K, 2K. I have 20 of them. So that brings my year-to-date payouts on Apex to $200,000. And then for the life of these accounts, that brings me to $240,000. So really, really stoked about that. Obviously, this hasn't been a perfect story because you guys know that the accounts were nothing but up. And then 2 weeks ago, I took that $400,000 hit, which was a 22K hit across every single account. I'm in the mode right now of slowly but surely rebuilding. Right now, I have no position. So at one point in time, these were all around 95,000. Granted, since then, I've taken 2 separate payouts. So really, for these to be equivalent, I need to get the accounts back to 91. So even with that, I'm still $16,000 below the peak high, which is, it's demoralizing for sure. But then it is things such as this that just kind of keep me going and remind me slow and steady wins the race. But I'll post a video on this later on this week. We'll post this video on Friday. I'll give a full breakdown of what happened in the last payout period. And folks, remember, if you want to trade with other people's money, I use Apex and I use Take Profit on both of those right now. Apex 80% off deal, use that code Goonie, and then on Take Profit, if you use that code Goonie, you'll get 50% off. So these are the 2 major ones I use, and the reason I like Apex and the reason I like Take Profit as the best future sim to fund and trading ones is because they have no daily loss limit. I hate the daily loss limit rule, and these are my 2 favorite to trade that have no daily loss limit rule. So like I said, you could get a good deal. In the end, financially, they're roughly the same right now. I think at this moment, Apex is a slightly better deal, but they do have a slightly different set of rules. So obviously, I implore you to use the one that's cheaper. I implore you to use the one that has rules that are more fit for your trading style. But pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, Apex is there. So is Take Profit. And on both of them, you could use that code Goonie. Goonie will get you 50% off on Take Profit. And as of right now, Goonie will get you 80% off on Apex. I use the 50K account on both. You could use bigger accounts, you could use smaller accounts. Once again, I'm just letting you know what works for me, but you should obviously be using what is whatever's increasing your likelihood of success. MSTR picking up. Where's VIX? The VIX was high and now we're dropping a little bit here. Interesting. A nice breakout on that trade. Are we going right up to this region? A little bit of a breakout. A little bit of a breakout here. SPY, new intraday high, Q's new intraday high. The Q's did it right after hitting an intraday low, and the SPY actually did it after it was looking pretty sick itself. Oh, the Mag 7 is long and strong. Look at all that. That is quite a bit of call buying and puts being closed out. Call buying and puts being closed. And then look at the S&P 500 complex right here. We're starting to see some potential early signs of a Vana rally. That's a lot of puts being closed. And then not long after at 9:36, you had some calls being purchased. So those puts being closed out, it seems to have stopped at 9:38. But this is something I highly, highly recommend paying attention to as close as you can, because there's a lot of puts in the system. And if these puts keep getting closed out, what it's going to do is going to collapse VIX. And then when the VIX collapses, not only do you have less negative delta in the system, but when the vol is less, market makers don't have to hedge as much. So they're going to buy back their shorts, obviously kind of creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of it pushing to the upside. As it pushes more to the upside, you're going to have more puts get closed out. People are going to get excited and buy calls. So you go from a negative delta situation to a positive delta situation. And then that's going to prompt the market makers to hedge even less to the downside and start hedging more to the upside by going long. And it's just a very positive feedback loop. And when you see all these puts being closed out, that is a Vana rally. What I'm describing, not just the puts closing out, but the reason of why the market goes up is a Vana rally. V-A-N-N-A. Vana is a second order, it's a second order derivative in the world of Greeks for options for anyone who's studying it. But I've been calling this out yesterday. We spoke about it in the Discord yesterday. We talked on it before the market opened today. Watch this. If you keep seeing puts getting closed, there is a solid chance of us getting a nice push up here. So I'm not sold on it yet. I'm not here saying that, yes, this is definitively happening. That is not what you should be taking away right now. I'm saying watch for that, because we have the ingredients. It's just, is it going to actually play out? So I'm going to be closely watching these puts today. Closely watching these puts. That's for the S&P 500. And then the Mag 7 is pretty strong as well. Quite a bit of call buying for this Friday, puts being closed out. And then if you want to look at the NASDAQ looks messy. A lot of people sold calls and yet closed out their puts. That's very strange. So they're closing calls, closing puts. Mag 7, here's a look at Tesla, puts being closed, calls being purchased. If you look at coin, very messy, not a nice flow at all. Nvidia, people are buying longer dated calls, probably for earnings. And then MSTR, people are closing puts and they are closing their calls. So they're just they're just dropping the open interest, which is interesting way to be playing this right now. Mag 7 showing some strength, and then the SPY obviously showing some strength. If you're ever curious what delta flow we're looking at, just look right above my head. It's up here in the top right. So this is the SPY, and then this is the Mag 7. I think those are two of the most influential ones. And then the next one I like to check is the NASDAQ. But the NASDAQ can be quite choppy, and sometimes you don't get those the nice trends and the nice follow through. So we just got to push right here. MSTR is looking good. Coin's kind of looking good. Bitcoin is at 86, maybe a potential little bounce going on. But is it just going to turn? Is this like a dead cat bounce that's just going to turn into a massive vomit? I'm curious. Are we putting in the intraday high? Obviously we have a higher high. The next question is, what's the next low? You can see these green arrows and the red arrows. Those are just local highs and local lows. You can get it on your own chart. Just use the fractals indicator. So right here, we have a higher high. The next question is about the low. Are we going to make a fresh low and take out 5964? Because that's the old... I hate those patterns, because then we have higher highs and lower lows. It's an expanding pattern. It's also referred to as a microphone pattern. And basically what it means is that the market is very, very indecisive. So what I'd be looking for in the event that we take out this low, I'd be looking for a momentary bounce that does not go above this high. I would be looking for this breakdown followed by a bounce somewhere in this region. And then if it were to go sideways, that would be the perfect opportunity for me to go short. And then I'd be playing it all the way down to the previous day's close. So that's one potential that I like, just because we might have an opportunity, kind of watching this, but also on the flip side, if it takes out this low and we see the options, it's starting to turn here. The delta, shoulder, head, shoulder. So the delta really picked up with these puts being closed and these calls being purchased, but someone turned that faucet off, and they turned it off pretty quickly. Fuck, my throat is dry. Let's see if it can recapture its footing here. I'm not seeing anything definitive. I'm not seeing a play at this moment in time that jumps out to me as being absolutely amazing. So let's just be calm, cool, collected. Let's not freak out, people. No need to freak out. Yeah, we made a new intraday high. We came back down pretty deep. The delta flow was positive, pulled back. Oop, the SPY is picking up. That's bullish right there. That is bullish. Ooh. I don't like going long in these situations. We might get a beautiful trend line breakout, but it is also below VWAP, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Not the biggest fan of. All right, we're kind of watching this consolidation. Kind of watching it. I'd rather... All right, let me check out the price flow really quick. 5 minute is still bearish, 10 minutes still bearish, 30 minutes still bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish. So the price action with respect to the EMAs is not good. With respect to just like the intraday higher highs and lower lows, that type of a thing, indecisive right now. We did make another high. And if this bar closes positively, then we will have a higher low. So I guess that's a bit bullish. But then that kind of puts us at odds with the actual flow on the day. So we're kind of getting mixed signals at the moment. And by kind of, I mean we are definitely getting mixed signals. We ran up the options again right here. More puts are being closed. But look at puts are being closed and calls are being closed. The market is telling you in many, many different ways it doesn't know what it wants to do, which, as I alluded to before the market opened, would, with high likelihood, kind of be a moniker of today, if you will, just because on a relative basis, today's probably going to be the least crazy out of all the trading days this particular week. Wow, Apple is getting hit. I'm really surprised. I'm thoroughly surprised Apple's getting hit. I'm looking for MSTR to not hold 250. It's at 250 right now. I'm looking for that one to ideally just get cracked. But watching this, indecisive, potential shoulder, head, shoulder, but also potential higher highs, higher lows. Depending on how you look at this market, you could easily argue it either way. Right now, my bias is a bit more bearish just because of the EMAs. But then if you look at the options flow, that's a bit more bullish. So this is a great, great way to explain to everyone that the market has no idea what it's doing today. It has no idea what it's doing today. Here's Nvidia, had a good morning, dropped it, kind of getting walked down ever since 938. Tesla's up 1.5% after touching, 300 yesterday. Palantir finally putting in a green day. I know a lot of Palantir fans are in here and it's been getting beat up in the short term. So, I mean, with me, I don't really care that much because I'm a Palantir investor. I like where this thing's going in the long run. I don't really try to get caught up in the day-to-day movement on that one. Is MSTR really going to be holding 250? Bitcoin getting a bounce right before the breakdown level at 85,000, bouncing at 85.3. Let's see what this one does or doesn't hold. Mag 7's picking up. S&P 500's picking up. Dude, I guess that would have been a good buy, this trend line breakout. I'm just not in love with it because it's below VWAP. Like I really find that my trading is far, far easier the more things that align. And yes, you could have taken that trade. You'd be up. You could have ridden it to VWAP. That's a very valid trade. I'm not knocking on it at all. If you take that breakout trade, great. Okay. I totally understand because you're seeing options rip. I totally get it. It's just not my personal favorite because we're below VWAP, which might end up turning into resistance. And then also, I'm a little bit freaked out by the fact that all these EMAs are still bearish. So had we had this structural breakout and more things were aligning, as in if the EMAs were bullish, as if, the options flow is bullish, I probably would have taken that. It's just how we are this morning. I didn't think it was the strongest play. I guess you could have taken that at 34. You're out at 60. So that's a good 25 points. That's $500 right there. Like, I don't mind the play. It's just not really my particular cup of tea. Not my particular cup of tea, but if you took it, I totally understand why you did. What do we have? Yeah, puts are still getting closed, dude. Is this... A lot of puts are being closed. But what's weird is it's still kind of lethargic. I don't know. Today's messy, folks. I know we just saw that new intraday high, but something about it, my spidey senses are tingling. I'm not the most sold on this. Honestly, it really might just be this straight up. I think it's just so many puts are being closed out. It's not even that many calls. Like, this is the impact of market makers getting out of their shorts. They no longer have to hedge for all these puts. So as people close their puts, they don't have to, they buy back their short. That pushes it up because you have a natural buyer in the market. And then people get excited. They start to buy calls. And then I would assume if we look at the vol, yeah, VIX is starting. Well, not as big of a hit on vol as I thought we would. All right. It looks like we're coming up kind of to my first target, this 10-point region. Also pay attention to yesterday's high. Just waiting. Ma'am, I guess this would have been a good one. I guess that would have been a good trade right here. You could have got in at 35. You were sweating to the point of about 13 points, so about $250-ish. But right now you're up 40, so you're up $800. So it would have worked. That was a nice one to take out. I guess, hey, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If I took it knowing my luck, we would have been rejected at VWAP and would have puked anyway, and then I would have been pissed off. And the fact that I didn't take it is what made it actually have a pretty nice breakout. So we do officially have now higher highs and higher lows pretty definitively. Right here, you could see this for all the prop traders in chat. Higher highs, higher lows, and I guess we're now getting hit. Maybe a little bit of a recapture of VWAP, or maybe a retest of VWAP here is what we're seeing. All right, I do at least have up my right orders today, unlike yesterday. I haven't done anything yet. I'm just kind of waiting. I'm seeing, even though options flow is up, something about this is not sitting right with me. The 5-minute and the 10-minute are now, and the 30-minute. So the 5, the 10, and the 30 are attempting to go bullish on the S&P 500. The 5-minute, 10-minute, and 30-minute are still bearish on the NASDAQ. So that's another just little flag right here that the market is not really all together. It's not really in agreement. So either the NASDAQ gets knocked here and starts to sell off and it drags the SPY with it, or the SPY keeps going and it brings the NASDAQ above. I don't know who's going to win out. It kind of depends on how many puts are closed out today. The VIX is still kind of dropping. Bitcoin's back up to 87 now. You have to wait. I don't know who's going to win. Either the SPY's right or the NASDAQ's right. Whenever I try to pick beforehand, it seems like I always pick wrong. So I'm just going to honestly wait and see. I'm going to let the market tell me who's right and then see if I could catch that trade. And if I don't see a setup, whatever. I'll just do a scalp trade to get my day in. And if there's just not a beautiful setup, there's not a beautiful setup. I honestly might have missed it. This breakout right here, 36. If you took it, as I alluded to, if you're just joining in right now, you had a real opportunity at that point. Not my favorite setup by any means, but I think that was somewhat reasonable. You didn't even have to take that much heat. And at this point, you're already up 50 points, so you're up $1,000. I wouldn't necessarily chase this right now at the intraday high because we're coming to that one standard deviation move. But let's see. Let's see how things play out here. Clearly higher highs, clearly higher lows. Wow, that's going. All right, we're coming up to yesterday's high. That's this green solid line. We don't really need these anymore. We are now in this region of resistance. So I'm not the biggest fan of going long right at resistance because I don't know how the market's going to react to yesterday's high. I don't know how it's going to react to this key options level or this key options level. So I'm watching this. Like I said, this was my bull target number 1. Bull target number 2 is actually probably closer to 6020, maybe 25. I might need to move this up a little bit. But like I said, like going long at resistance is kind of silly because by definition, you're taking on the most risk possible. So I'm just going to wait and see how the options market reacts. But I can tell you that the SPY is long and strong. The Mag 7 is long and strong. The NASDAQ is not long and strong. In fact, it made a low at 943. It's rallying now, but it looks a lot different. Tesla, decent. Coin, messy, but I suppose a little bit bullish. Nvidia, messy. MSTR, a little bit more bullish and bearish, but overall still kind of messy. So waiting to see how this one really wants to play itself out. Running in right to my first level. Let's see if it can base here. Maybe it picks up a little bit more. Remember all those edgeful stats that if we take out 5992.65 on SPX or whatever this is on the SPY here, if we take out, oh wait, why do I not have, what's the high from yesterday? Oh, here it is. My apologies. 597.89. That's yesterday's high on the SPY. This where is it? And then 5992.65. If we take that level out, then we have a 76% chance of closing the day above 5955. That's the daily range stats that we get from Edgeful. Once again, if we take out that high value, we have a 76-ish% chance of closing above 5955. Or if you're paying attention to the SPY, that would be 594.24. So it could be above it by a cent, or it could be above it by $100. All we know is that there's good odds to close above that value. All right, SPY's going, Qs are going, Nvidia's picking up. I'm seeing some green. Actually, we kind of went inverse here. The only thing going red is Apple, which has been the one green thing over the past couple of trading days. So very interesting. Options market, very strong on the SPY and on the Mag 7. I missed it just because I wasn't absolutely in love with the trade. Now I'm kind of watching this trend set up. Yeah, I think that opportunity was a beautiful one back here. Right at 945. That was a good one. I didn't take it because we were below VWAP and a lot of the EMAs were red. So I like personally for me, for more things to be aligned with that direction of the trade. It's just one of my rules. So I didn't take it. And it looks like we might be getting another VWAP test here pretty soon. What happened? SPY and Qs getting slightly hit. Mag 7 coming off a little bit. We also have the SPY coming off a little bit. I don't want anyone to panic of like, oh, some massive hit to options. When there's a massive hit, you'll definitely see it. But what I do find interesting is we're coming right back to the volume weighted average price. Let's see what happens here. Is it going to bounce out of it or not? Let's see. I haven't done any trades myself, as you could see, 000. I did a little scalp trade on my take profit accounts just because at this point, to get them passed, I just need to trade for 5 days. This is day 4. So tonight, when the market opens for the next day at 6 p.m. tonight, what I'll do is I'll do one more little scalp trade and then I'll be donezo. And then I just need to wait for them to send me the email to upgrade them. And then they go from an eval to a performance, and then I could start legitimately trading them. Hang on. This might end up, we had the VWAP test, broke, pop back up, bounce right off of it. Then we had a good push, but it really does look like we're coming back to VWAP again. So kind of watching this. Is this it? We know it ran right up to resistance. That's exactly why I called this region out. He does it again. Once again, these are not only yesterday's high, which is going to naturally be resistance, but it's also key options resistance. Seems like it's getting a bit smacked there. A true trend reversal, which would be deep, would be this trend line all the way down here. Obviously, we have higher highs, we have higher lows. That is clearly the trend of at least the 1 minute chart. But at this moment, we have another high all the way up here, right at resistance. If this somehow starts to get rocked, I'd be watching this trend line, because a break of this trend line might be setting up a test of yesterday's closing value. And if we do touch yesterday's closing value, that's where we get really, it gets interesting, because if we get all the way down there and you sell put credit spreads, you're going to be like on SPX, it's a 50-50 risk reward, yet you have a 25% edge of it working out in your favor. So even though your risk reward is 50-50, the odds of it going for you, like I said, you have a 25% edge. Now, will that trade work all the time? Absolutely not. But if you do it with proper sizing and trade it time and time again, it totally could. But we might just be putting in another higher low here. We might just be putting in another higher low here, team. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Do I want to take this trade? Do I want a nice bounce off of VWAP? A nice bounce off of VWAP. Options are picking up. All right. Kind of wish I got right in here at 77. Kind of. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes trying to go bullish. There's more and more things now aligning on the bull side here. All right, we'll do it.
Order submitted.
We'll give it a whirl. We'll see if there's anything left in the tank here. Basically, what I'm looking for is to see if the market wants to go more into this region, because I'm still seeing the higher highs. I'm still seeing the higher lows. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute attempting to go bullish. I see that the overall options trend on the delta trend on the day is long and strong. Same with the Mag 7. So that's the play. Obviously, we're looking to see if it breaks out of the intraday high, which also happens to roughly be yesterday's high. So seeing if I could I waited for a bit of a pullback. I didn't want to chase it. What do we have here? Coin is up 2%, unfortunately. MSTR saving itself at 250. We're watching Bitcoin at 87. Got hit, attempting to recover, not trying to snap that 85 level. Interesting. And VIX is still getting hit. Is this just a bunch of... It is a bunch of puts. Look at telltale sign of a Vana rally. All these puts are being closed out. Like clockwork, folks. Like clockwork. I do need to close this position. All right. If you're in the Discord, or you can see right there, I just closed out those stupid puts I had from yesterday. Very, very weak play. I don't know why I got into it. I guess it was out of boredom. I suppose it was out of boredom, but do I want to manage anything else? Do I want to manage anything else? I could just cut and restart. I mean, vol is getting hit. I guess I'm watching yesterday's high. Yesterday's high is very, very important to me because it could also be a potential pivot point on the daily chart. Right here. Like, this might be just vomit, 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 recovery back up to the trend line. So I'm really paying attention to yesterday's high on both the SPY and on the Qs. The Qs have a little bit more to go, a little bit more to be desired, but where are we at? We're trying to get going here. All right, let me dump these. 3. All right, do I still like these other positions? I kind of do. All right, here, if you're in the Discord, I'm just updating one thing real quickly. But let's see if this could get going. I'm slightly under break even right now on my NQ stuff. We're going to see if we could see a follow through. We're going to see. All right, where are we at? Where the hell is the Discord? Okay, folks, we're setting up. We're set, as I said, be careful of all. Look at how many puts are still being closed, and now people are starting to get a little bit more bullish into it. The question is, does it have enough follow through? Oh, we just took out that high. We just took out that high. Huh. SPY's going. What? That's not my real profit target. I mean, if it hits, I'll be stoked. I'm just more so trying to realize what my risk should be. I guess I could just risk whatever this recent low is. I'm up a little bit right now. It might be a little bit more exciting to watch the 100 here. No, I like this one a bit better. VIX is still getting hit. MSTR is climbing. Coins climbing. Oh, decisions. Is this going to just get smacked at 6,000? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make my life easier by cutting everything, and then I could see the market a little bit more clearly. Ever notice that? That as soon as you just drop everything, you can finally be like, all right, be a little bit more agile. All right. If you're in the Discord, I cut all my long premium on all accounts. I'm just waiting. And what I'm worried about is it's kind of the risk reward. I could hold my long premium, which was puts, and hope and pray it gets rejected in here. But on the flip side, what if it just busts out of 6,000 and we keep ripping? I mean, that's 100% possible. Speaking of that, I should start eyeing up these next levels for all of you in case there is a break, just so you know which way we're looking. Yeah, we're definitely seeing so many puts are getting closed right now. An ungodly amount of puts are being closed right now. What do we have here? 6,000. Okay. I'm going to move this up to 6,020. There is some stuff at 6,015. There is some stuff at 6,025. There is some stuff at 6,020. So just to not make it look so ugly, understand that, yes, I'm calling out 6,020, but there is stuff 5 points below and 5 points ahead as well. So I'm looking at this level if we can break and hold above 6,000. I'm not necessarily anticipating that we break and hold on attempt number 1. I think a lot of it is going to be hyper dependent. Ooh, Mag 7 starting to take a little bit of a hit. It's going to be hyper dependent on our puts still closed out. I'm watching these blue lines for sure. Watching the blue lines for sure. Ooh, it might be coming up to my risk here pretty soon. Not a fan of that. Yeah, it didn't even go that much. It's just we're kind of running out of steam, if you will. Running out of steam. Things are getting cheap. Oh, Mag 7 just caught a little bit of a pop. Oh. All right, I'm giving myself a little bit of breathing room just in case VWAP ends up being support. I'm going to feel real stupid if it just vomits below it and keeps going, especially because I just dumped what I wanted to be in. But hang on, let's go to the 1 minute here. So many puts being closed. A little bit of a hiccup in the Mag 7. Once again, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla, the grouping that has arguably the biggest impact on not only the S&P 500, but also the NASDAQ. So right here, we're kind of overshooting. We're right at this low. Are we still going to keep with the pattern of higher highs and higher lows? We did not actually take out this recent low. So market still showing a little bit of strength here. Showing a little bit of strength here. How do I want to play this? Do I really, is the Vana rally going to keep going? Are these reports going to continue to be good? You know what I could do? Oh, you know what I could do? We're getting a little bit clocked. What do we have? Hang on, it's making me log back in. Seems like this is getting hungry to test this region a little bit more. We're still in this region of resistance, but a nice break at 6,000. We're talking 6,020. Is Vol still dying? Yeah, Vol is still dying. VIX just slowly but surely trending down. What do we have? Nvidia's up 3%. Remember, reporting after the market closes. Meta's having a decent recovery. Microsoft. Everything's taking that breather now after getting beat up for so many days. Hang on. Public texted me a code to be able to get into my account now. Do I need to do any repositioning? Let's just not do dumb shit. Let's just do smart shit. Oh. All right. We got one trade in. Let me go back to this for you guys. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, we're laying on some new plays to attempt to take advantage of really what I'm thinking is going to be a Vana rally. I think we've already seen a bit of a Vana rally, and then the bet is, are we going to continue? We're in this region of resistance. Don't be surprised if it gets choppy in here. On the first attempt of going above 6,000, it's such a key level. I mean, I was even showing you how many people are playing it right there. 6,000, a ton of calls. Next level is 6,020 right here. 6,000. That's all the volume from last night to this morning. And then actually, if you're looking at it, a lot of people sold to 6,030. So that might end up being a bit of resistance. So I just wanted to call that out. Expected range on the day from this point is 34 points still. The path of least resistance is up to 6,020. So just wanted to, I guess, show you that. And what do we have? We're about to go into positive gamma, which would mean that 6,020, 25 is going to end up becoming like legit resistance because you're going to have market makers start selling there. The delta gets all wonky for all expiration, but by the time we get above 6,000, clearly positive delta and positive gamma. Interesting. Right here, you have a lot of open interest at the 6,000. Okay. So this is what gets interesting. There's a lot of puts at 6,000. As you can see right here, that's the blue. So a huge amount of open interest at 6,000. If that goes from in the money to out of the money, it might trigger all these players to get out of that position. Because once again, in the money to out of the money. And if they go out of the money, we might see more puts being covered. So I want to call out how important that would be if we see all of these put players start to capitulate at 6,000, because it would easily set up a move to 6,020. So watching this very, very, very closely. What are we at? Okay, in the Discord, I did change some positions. Loading it up right now. It's kind of what we went over yesterday. No one should be too surprised. Oh, fuck, I'm still in long. Oh, I'm up $400 on each account. Sick. Sick. Let's reduce our risk a little bit. Taking $200 of risk off the table. Would love for this to push 40. Dude, today might not really just be my day. I mean, what's going on? All right, we're coming right up to that major resistance. What I would love to see is on this test, like this would be On an intraday basis, probably the most bullish setup you could possibly have is on the Tesla 6000. We see the blue lines spike again, as in all those puts at 6,000 get closed out. Once again, the theory is that as they move from in the money to out of the money, those players aren't going to want to hold them anymore. And as all these puts leave the system, we're removing negative delta, which is the same as adding positive delta. As you're adding positive delta, you're most likely going to see vol die. As vol dies, that means that the market makers don't have to hedge as much. And when they don't have to hedge as much, they buy some of their shorts back. And then not only are they buying their shorts back, but because we're going up, they're going to hedge the other way because people are most likely going to get into calls. So they're going to go from getting out of shorts to getting into longs, which will then be like prompt kind of a positive feedback loop all the way up to 6,020. And then this is where most likely the positive feedback loop would terminate. Palantir getting hit. All right. Oh, what is today? The 6th, the 26th, that is. Whoa. All right. Piper just fired also if you're in the Discord. So I updated swingers and Piper just fired. So if you're in the Discord, you're good to go. All right. It comes down to this, folks. We got our first test. We are successfully at the top of profit region 1. I called this out, profit target 1. Will we break and continue? It's all going to be dependent on, do we continue to see this trend? The more puts that are closed out, the higher the likelihood that not only we break 6,000, but have a quick shot all the way up to 6,020. How do I want to play this? What is the third? It's the third. Do we really think these put players are going to keep closing out? How is my position? I'm still green. All right, I'm going to do something stupid and degenerate because why not? It's a Friday. It's a Friday. Lucky number. All right. I'm doing something really stupid. And I feel like it's a little bit of a treat for myself because I've been training well lately. I've been keeping it disciplined lately. So why not have a little bit of fun? Why not have a little bit of fun, a little bit to reward myself? All right. Like I said, if you're in the Discord, I just put my 100% a degen trade in there. But slowly watching this go up, I don't know, at a certain point, I should be setting this break even. It's all coming back to this. It's all coming back to our puts being closed. I see puts continuing. Ooh, even the Mag 7 we got here. Calls are being bought. So there's some bullish aggression going on in the Mag 7, and there's a giant lack of bearish aggression going in on the S&P 500 right now, which is what is allowing us to get elevated. We're attempting to hold above 6,000. The longer we hold above 6,000, that's going to put more pressure on the current puts, the current right here. You know what? You want to see something cool? Volume 15 min. All right. This is the volume over the last 15 minutes just for today. You could see a lot of people liking their calls at 6,000 and 6,010 and 6,020. I'm really liking these nodes. We already broke the 6,000. I'm looking for us to go 610, 620, 630. If it gets real crazy, 6050. But you could see this is the next biggest one, 6,020. And this is once again the volume over the last 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And then, like, once again, let's just look for today for my day traders in here. A lot of people selling the 6,050s over the last 15 minutes. That's kind of interesting. They're selling those and they're selling the 40s, but they're long the 20s. Man, the more I look at this, the more confident I become in 6,020. 6,020, people are long calls to that. I don't think we'll shoot. I don't think there's a good likelihood of us closing above 6,050. If we do, if things get fucking bonkers, of course, you could be talking about 6,080, 6,085. That would be an interesting case, but we would first have to overcome this, which is a lot of sold delta. So let's just be careful there. But things are looking real good as this is developing. I'm telling you, folks, 6,020 is getting interesting. Another 15-point movement. I would be fucking and vol keeps down. This is playing out perfectly. This is literally a picture perfect Vana rally. A picture perfect Vana rally. And at least I get to play it with this. Oh, I'm up 20K. All right. At this point, it'd be stupid for me to waste money or lose money. All right. So I put my stop at break even. So I'm not going to lose money here. Should I just take this money? I mean, 20K is a good day on a weird day. Like, we're not as volatile and as crazy. Like, I do anticipate today to be a little bit more weird and strange. So maybe I should just take this 20K right now and just move on with my life. Or I could use this low as my risk. If we could, you know what I'll do? That low is interesting. I don't know. Like, it's just not as whippy. We're not most likely going to be getting as big of ranges as we did recently. Do I just want to take this? I'm not going to lose money. Right here, I'm up 1,000 and my stop's at break even. So it's just, how confident am I? I'm actually really confident, but are we going to have a pullback before that happens? Because if we do have a pullback and maybe we hit this afternoon, I don't want to be involved. I want to be done with my trading early today. I don't want to be involved if I have to, I don't want to hold this all day. I'd rather just, move on with my life. I'll give it a second to breathe. I would love a bounce right off of this 2 standard deviation of VWAP, just so I can move my risk all the way up there. Basically, this little miniature downturn, I'm hoping this breaks out. And then I can move my stop right up. And it'll be around $900 per account. So it won't be the nice 20K. But hey, who's going to cry about 18K, Who's going to cry about 18K? What I really need to happen is I just need these puts to keep getting closed out. See right here, we started a downturn on puts. I need the blue bars, the longer duration and the 0 DT. I just need puts to keep getting closed. That would be excellent. And then also, a kicker would be if people just keep going, fucking wild on Mag 7 calls. All right, here's what we're going to do. All right, so no matter what, I'm up, no matter what, I'm making $800 per account. My stop is up at $800. I'm long at 303.75. I have my stop at 44.75. If we take out this low, whatever. I made money. I made 16K. It's a lottery ticket. If it runs all the way up here, dope. That means I made 2K per account, means I made 40K. I'm not going to fucking cry about that. But what I care much more about, and the longer you trade, the more you're going to realize this, to survive in the game of trading, you have to care much more about your stop loss than you do your profit target. To survive the marathon that is trading, you have to have a steadfast obsession with what is your current risk. That's how you survive this game. So I care a lot more about this, and stoked. No matter what, my minimum return on the day is $16,000. Might get as high as 40. We saw a nice push here, but maybe it pulls back. I don't know. I see a nice climb. I see VIX getting hit. Nvidia, actually Tesla is now turning. What the fuck is going on with Tesla? Damn, I wish I held those Tesla puts that I had. I'm about to get stopped out. Just got
Order
stopped
canceled.
out. Right there. 16K on the day. Not going to complain about it. Came back, made a fresh low after, and we're also above that 2 standard deviation. If anything, this could be a sign of like a quick little short, but that's good for me. It's kind of a weird day. I think it's easier, obviously, to make more money when you have vol expanding because you're going to get bigger ranges. Right now, vol is contracting, so it's not necessarily the day that I want to be pushing it to like try to make 2 or 3K. It's just like not a setup for me to be particularly doing that. So like I'm more than happy with this, and that's it. 16K. Where are the accounts at? The accounts are at 76. I would love for these to get back above 80. Love for them to get back above 90. Dude, Tesla's getting rocked. Tesla, bunch of puts being bought back for this Friday and calls getting sold against old Tesla. Old Tesla. Damn. What a good trade that would have been on the 21st. And I was in it too. I just got out way too early. Fuck. That was a phenomenal trade on Tesla. It's just getting demolished right now. SPY still decently strong. We're having a little bit of a pullback right now. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone to retest the 6,000 level. If you missed this move and you want to be bullish on the SPY, this is actually exactly what you would be looking for. A pullback to a key level that was resistance. You're looking for it to turn into support. You have better risk because you could risk it off whatever this recent low is, and you're looking for that follow through. That's a classic setup. Classic setup. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bullish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bullish. The 4 hour on both is still bearish, but the shorter time frame stuff is still bullish. Dude, Tesla's getting destroyed. Destroyed on Tesla. Why did I not hold that position? That was really dumb of me. Vol still getting hit too, which theoretically should mean that more and more puts get covered. More and more puts get covered. Well, that was a good recovery. I would basically have been giving already half my profits back, so I don't mind that. And the beauty here is if I want to re-enter, because remember, there's no pattern day trading on futures, especially when they're simulated, I could always get right back in. Remember, there's 2 places that I am trading my futures, Apex and Take Profit. Both of them, you could get a nice discount if you use that code Goonie. You'll get 50% off Take Profit, and you'll get 80% off of Apex. Right now, Apex financially is a little bit of a better deal, but it does ebb and flow of who's currently running the best deal, which is why I use multiple. And they also have slightly different rules. For example, on Apex, you have to trade 8 days to get a payout. On Take Profit, you could start getting a payout your very first day. So obviously, I implore checking out both. I am a fan of using both, but just so you know, you get a nice discount. These accounts, I'm trading with other capital right here. Do I want to take this trade actually? Tesla's getting hit. Tesla's getting hit. How's the rest of the Mag 7 though? How's the NASDAQ? I am really interested. Oh, I was really interested. This might be an interesting setup right here. A little bit of a trend line break. You have a recent inverse shoulder, head, shoulder, shorter time frame. Your risk is not bad at all. Risk is not bad at all. A little bit of a pullback. Do I want to take it? Do I want to take it? I'm risking. Well, hang on. I am pretty zoomed in. I'm on the 200 tick, so I'm trying to be mindful of that. That maybe this wasn't a little bit of a consolidation that might be breaking to the downside. Nope, made a fresh low. All right, now I'll be watching this structure. Almost took it. Almost. Ooh, I didn't realize that the Nasdaq was taking a hit. Mag 7 turning a little bit, but overall the trend's still to the upside, and the SPY is still holding pretty constant. Like, yeah, a little bit of a hit, but look at how far we've come today. I don't think anyone should be surprised about like what's going on at 6,000 here. Like I said, if you've missed this trade, just wait for the trend line reversal. That's it, because whatever the recent low is, you're going to have well-defined risk, and you're trading with the overall trend, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bullish, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bullish. Ideally, you take that trend with not only the delta going up, but more specifically, more puts being closed out. And obviously, it would be simultaneously beneficial if people are still buying calls on the Mag 7. But I think whatever's going on with Tesla right now is freaking some people out, because it is getting fucking annihilated right now. Yeah, might be setting up for an interesting reversal trade. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm watching these highs. Obviously, I'm very zoomed in on them. I'm on the 15-second chart just to see if I could connect better highs, but we had higher highs, higher lows, obviously a bullish trend, and right here starting at 1022, a little bit of a reversal, lower highs, lower lows, looking for that potential reversal to see if this short-term pullback is going to like go back into alignment with the overall trend on the day. But I see the Nasdaq getting cracked right now because of Tesla, and the VIX is picking back up. Is this going to hold? Well, had I held my position, that stop, I would have not only been, I would be red right now. I was in up here at 303, so I'd be down. I wonder if we're going to, this might be setting up an interesting play, a VWAP bounce, looking for this trend line breakout. I know we're getting hit a little bit, but I wonder if we're just being given a gift. I wonder if we're being given a gift. People are selling their calls. I see this trend is coming down a little bit. We might be given a gift right here, folks. The old VWAP bounce. I'll take a stab at it.
Order submitted.
I'll take a stab at it. Risk is VWAP, which is simultaneously this most recent low. Well-defined risk. It's just whatever this low is. Well-defined reward all the way back up to the intraday high. Not a bad deal. I don't know if this individual trade is going to work out, but if you take these types of setups time and time again, you will be net profitable as long as you have control of your sizing, obviously. But I'm risking how many ever points this is, where my long 15 to 70. So I'm risking 45, and then my potential reward 15 up to 75-ish, 60. So the reward obviously is outpacing the risk. So even if you have more than a 50% hit rate, even if you have a 50% hit rate, obviously you're going to be net profitable because the reward is outpacing the risk. And honestly, it's probably better than a 50-50 just because, once again, the 5-minute, 10-minute, and 30-minute are bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute are bullish, maybe bouncing off of support. It's just a low-risk setup. I see vol continuing to get crushed. Basically just wondering if we're going to have dip buyers step in, which means I can set this up now. So basically looking for the Qs to take out 518, looking for the SPY to take out 599. And really, I mean, even the 15-second here on SPX is breaking out of its trend line. It's just, it's a classic dip buy. I don't think there's anything surprising of what I just did. We got knocked back down. This was a region of resistance. We broke above it, knocked back into it, looking to see if resistance turns into support, looking to bounce out of it, take out the intraday highs, and see if we could continue up to the next major options level at 6,020. This is a pretty textbook thing. But what I want to do is, because this is my second trade of the day and I already had a winning trade, more so than the first trade, I want to move my stop to break even very, very early. So my worst case scenario is just keeping all the money I already had on the day. Really, I should stop trading, but that was too nice of a setup to really pass up. Especially seeing how we might be getting that Vana rally. So if we can take out 42, 43, whatever this recent high was at 10.25. If we could take that out, I'll be moving my stop to break even, and then it's just a free play. And worst case scenario, I'm just back with whatever my gains were on my first trade. So once again, looking for this to take out 42. And then upon it taking out 42, like I'm literally giving you my trading plan right now, like perfectly. If it takes out 42, obviously my stops break even, and then it's a lottery play. It's a lottery play. Mag 7 curling up a little bit. NASDAQ not curling up a little bit. SPY flat. Don't like that. I'd prefer that puts keep getting closed out. That would make me feel a bit better about my life. A bit better about my life. A bit better about my life. Come on. Close those puts out. We're at 6,000 anyway. Hopefully we're not putting in a lower high and just getting rejected at 6,000. That would be a bit problematic for me. A wee bit problematic. A wee bit problematic. But let's see. I'd like if vol keeps dying. That would cause more puts to close out. I'm really just looking for that blue line to go higher and higher. We're in a little bit of a lull right now, but not much. I'm not sweating it. I'm pretty much break even on these trades, or I'm break even on this position, I should say. We'll see. I would like if I just don't have to see red, which is what I'm seeing right now. This might just be kind of a fake out bullshit thing. Getting a little bit hit. Took that trend line breakout. And then it went right into consolidation. Unfortunately, it didn't. I would just love this push right back up to 42. A quick push to 42. I move my stop to break even. And then I don't care. At that point, it's just in the market's hands. I see vol still, or Delta's kind of turning now, which is not the best. Ooh, puts. Someone just bought some 0DT puts, which actually that kind of makes sense. They're buying it on this rejection. I don't think it's going to get rejected. I think there's too much optimism for us recapturing 6,000. So this hasn't changed yet, but remember, I'm looking for this. The blue, yellow is calls, blue is puts. I'm looking for this big node of puts at 6,000. I want them to close out. There's a lot in the system that could relate to a nice Vana rally, and it would be this huge spike of, 6.9 thousand puts getting closed out. And there's more calls than puts right now, which I do find interesting. A lot of excitement at 6,000. Do I need to reload this? We're just at this wall. Yeah, we're at the 6,000 wall. It's having a hard time getting over this, but if we do, easy push to 6,010. I think an even easier push to 6,020. We just need to get above this wall. Come on. You could do it, Tonto. You could do it, Tonto. We're at minimum. At least just give me a push to 42 so I could take all my risk off the table, and then I have a free trade. There we go. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Come on. It technically did take it out. All right. I don't care anymore. No matter what, I keep all my gains on the day. My stops break even. It might come and flush me out and bounce off of that. That's totally possible. But I need to be even more careful today just because I probably shouldn't be taking this trade anyway. I already had one good trade, like why push my luck? So I think I'm doing the appropriate thing I have a lottery ticket. It's a dangerous lottery ticket, and the chance of it hitting is very low because I'm not that far away. My stop's already in. So I'm basically saying the market's not going to revert at all. So there's a high likelihood that I just get stopped out for break even and I keep my $800. But on the off chance that we just rally from here, cool. I get to ride it up. So like whatever. All risk is off the table. Those are my favorite types of trades, the riskless trades. This is by definition my favorite trade, riskless. I don't care how it goes. Worst case scenario is nothing. I'm up 16K on the day. Best case scenario, this thing rips and I make, I don't know, 2.8K if I want, or I make whatever. I could always cut it off earlier, I suppose. Riskless. Tesla catching a bit of a bid. It's all coming down to this. SPX is above 6,000. Is this more puts being closed? Perfect. More puts are being closed. That's exactly what I want to see. That's exactly what I'm seeing. This might happen after the stream ends, but I'm telling you, this is the key level. There might be a bit of a hiccup at 6,010 because it's a slight overshoot of the current intraday high. We have some options positioning there, but the main level is all the way up here, 6,020, which you could figure out was the equivalent level on the SPY would be for that. But you got to track options with it. If puts keep pushing to the upside, as in being closed out, removing negative gamma, boy, oh boy, are we golden. Are we golden, pony boy? Oh, I could close it now and be up 30K on the day. That's not a bad. But if we do have a rip of a day, so this is just so weird because if I'm this aggressive with my stop, the odds of this being any money, well, it might not matter anyway because it's literally diving for my position. Yeah.
Order canceled.
Just tagged me. Which that wasn't even a legit stop level. Obviously, you would want to target a recent low, but for me, I didn't want to risk any money. So the freebie play did not work out, which is a bummer because I kind of do think that this one is still, like, look at that. It came right for me. Shit happens. Shit happens. You could play this bull flag if you wanted to. But I had, it literally came for me. If I had the stop at the recent low, obviously I would still be in it. I'd be sweating a little bit, but I would be in it. But I just didn't want to risk anything. It's like when you already have a good trade, hey, when you already have a good trade, you are, it'll be, I don't know. I still think I made the right decision, especially because I do believe we're going to, well, maybe not. What happened? Nothing really happened. Puts were closed out. The most puts were closed out on the day. Some got hit, like the delta dropped a little bit, but I see calls coming up. We're just going to be dancing around at 6,000. I would say this is now the interesting structure to watch. Hey, Matt, what broker would you recommend to trade futures with a non-funded account? With non-funded accounts, I use Rhythmic, which is connected to Ninja. I don't know if that's best. That's just the first one that I use. And I've been using it ever. Like, I'm fine with it. I think Ninja's a good platform. Look at that. That shit. All right. We're going to give
Order
this
submitted.
one more try. First thing we do is reduce our risk. On this breakout, same thing. As soon as we take out this intraday high, as I was before, what do we have to get to now? 73. As soon as we take out that intraday high, I'm going to be moving my stop up to break even. I just want to be... Fuck. This is telling me to move my stop to 95. 95. 95 is where... Really? That's where the system's calling for the stop? I mean, I guess that's why you have a system, but 95? Especially with the vol dying like that? Interesting. Well, that's my current stop, but I'm going to override the system and basically be more aggressive with my stop. And as soon as we take out if we take out the intraday high, which I'm looking for this trend line breakout, kind of shown on the chart right now, looking for this breakout, looking for a push to the intraday high. Upon testing the intraday high, I'm moving my stop to break even, ideally for another freebie trade. The first freebie trade didn't work out, but I'm basically just looking for SPX to actually break this, which I see the Mag 7 is still showing strength. The SPY's kind of gone quiet. We're just below 6,000, so it seems like we're not getting enough I suppose, enthusiasm to get this breakthrough. Just waiting. This is a patience play. We just have to wait to see how these option players are going to decide to handle the current situation. Are enough of them going to close out their puts and get into calls that we break and hold above 6,000, take out this recent high and push the intraday high? Or all of a sudden are people going to decide to be bearish? Like right now, this is why I say you can't predict, because you don't know what these other traders are going to do. So in a certain way, it's a weird, interesting like crowd psychology of just like how are they going to see it? Are enough people going to be like, yo, this is bullish, I want in, and they close out their puts, they get into calls, and then it becomes a positive self-fulfilling prophecy? Or are there going to be enough traders that come in and be like, yep, we're right at resistance, the overall trend's bearish, maybe they don't have the best opinion of Nvidia or GDP or the PCE, and they use this and they go short here, that's their stop level, so it's a low risk short play. Either could happen, which is why you just have to continually monitor what these players are doing. So I would love it if we just see this blue go back up, because that means more puts are being closed. It would be awesome if people buy calls. The Mag 7 just took a little bit of a hit. Lots of call buying, but someone just got into some puts at 1042. It's a little bit more complicated on the Mag 7 because Tesla's having a very, very weird day. Tesla's getting hit when the rest of the market's decently strong. Speaking of which, we might be breaking out on the S&P 500 as we speak. Remember, if we take out 606, just be a little bit mindful of 610. There is some options there, but the major options level is up here. This would be my profit target level 2, but upon a breach of 610, I'd probably be putting in my stop at break even. That's how I would do it. But I see vol continuing to get crushed, which is going to be optimistic for the market going higher once again, because it all relates to people closing out their puts. But the biggest thing we are waiting for is not that. I clicked on the wrong thing. The biggest thing we are waiting for are remember, the blue is puts. We're looking for these put players to close out, which they have not yet. They're still there. And then we actually have some weird puts at 6,050. I don't know what the hell that person's doing. But we are finally on this side of the node. It's shown a little bit better here. We're finally getting over that first node. Let's hope we don't quickly snap back. 610. If we get over 610, there's a bit of a valley and then a quick suction cup all the way up to 6,020. This will be the interesting level of the day. If you're a 0 DTE trader, yeah, you might get lucky and it might get on the other side and then we just really start to go. But I wouldn't be that greedy, I guess. Especially on a 0 DTE, if you hit that, especially if you're in the first half of the trading day, you take your money and you move on with your life. That's how I would personally at least handle it. Man, it's really trying to decide if it wants this breakout or not. We're just waiting. We're patiently waiting. It's trying to hold 6,000. Mag 7 is now flat. SPY puts were being closed and now some are being purchased back. We're at the battle. It's just how lucky are you going to be? We tried to get going. Tried to. And now you just have to patiently wait. Patiently wait. Oh, I would love for the Qs to go higher. Tesla looks like crap. Ball's coming down. That should be bullish. Coin is up 0.8%. MSTR is up. Tesla's clearly red. Nvidia is going. That should be good for everything. Optimism coming into Nvidia. How does Nvidia specifically look? Oh, whoa. People are getting very optimistic right here. They're buying longer dated calls. Big chunk came in at 1036. So definitely some bullish optimism going into Nvidia's earnings, at least as of this, whoever this 1036 trade was. What do we have? Meta's looking good. Meta's up quite a bit today. Options are pretty strong as well. Since 1020, the faucet turned off, but that was quite a bit of bullishness on Meta. Man, the SPX is just not, it's holding 6,000, but it's not like breaking free there. Meta, Palantir, Microsoft, Bitcoin trying to get above 88. Microsoft is looking good. Apple did recover, then got smacked again. ASML is looking good. Broadcom's looking good. Amazon, Netflix, DJT's nice recovery. Qualcomm's green. Google's doing nothing. Solana's down to 140, but recovering. Ripple's at 228. Texas Roadhouse. Man, Nvidia's having a good push here. A good push. Where was Microsoft? Microsoft was having a good one too. Microsoft. Well, 2 of the 3 biggest stocks in the world, not counting Apple here, I'm talking about Microsoft and Nvidia, are looking pretty solid. You would think that would help with this breakout, but maybe we just need a little bit more patience here. Here, I'll add an alert for a top side breakout. I'll add an alert for a bottom side breakout. but we're just caught up a little bit in this range, and I think it's because the excitement related to options is now calming down. We're not seeing as many options being traded. Look at all those calls that were bought on the Mag 7. Come on, let's break and rip. I'm just below break even on mine. I got a little bit overzealous with the breakout. It obviously did not come. I was playing different breakouts and whatever. Had I had the proper risk on this first one at 1039, I would still be in and I would be green on it. So I probably should have done that. But like I said, I'm like, when you're already green on the day and on a day like today where like, okay, are you going to get rejected or not? I really don't mind the tactic of being very, very aggressive with your stop. So that's what I did. I was super aggressive with moving my stop to break even. It barely knocked me out. Had I taken on a little bit of risk, I'd be fine right now. And now my stop would legitimately be break even a little bit higher and I'd be looking fine. But instead I protected myself and I don't mind it because right here, what if we just did puke? Like then I don't mind it, really. Maybe if it was my first trade of the day, you could be like, no, give it a little bit more room to breathe. But I truly don't mind it. I think that was a good defensive play. I really, really do. All right, here's the 300 tick. All right, I would love for this to push 64, which is the second standard deviation of the VWAP. And then I would love for it to take out the current intraday high of 72, 73. Upon it taking out 73, of course, that's where I move my stop to break even. But right now, we're basically just dancing around. Does the SPY want to break or not? I guess you could have more of an elongated one right here. You could watch this new flag structure, this bullish pennant, as the kids would refer to it. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bullish. Mag 7 long and strong, but stalling out now. S&P 500 long and strong up until 1020, and since then kind of just like stalling out. Really, really indecisive of if it wants to break at 6,000 or not. Really indecisive. Well, we got a little bit smacked right there. A little bit smacked right there. What are we doing? Nvidia taking a bit of a hit. You have the Qs overreacting. There's not really much. Tesla did puke, bounce right back up, now flat. Nvidia went, gave it a little bit back. Meta's flat. We got stalled out. What's happening right now is exactly what I told you, is on a relative basis. Yes, I'm expecting ranges today. We had a nice down range. We had a nice up range on both, more so of a nice up range. But relative to Monday and Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, this is most likely setting up to be, on a relative basis, the most quiet day of the week. So I'm not saying it's going to be quiet. Obviously, we've already had some moves, but just it was clearly setting up that we don't have big announcements. The earnings are out after the market closes today with respect to Nvidia. It's going to be, if there were one day to stall out, this would be the day to stall out. So with that being said, if you're not seeing something you love, remember, not every trading day is made the same. So if you're like, nope, this is stupid, go walk away. I find that like sitting there in like the most boring, monotonous environments is like where you're kind of setting yourself up to get clocked and like lose some money. So if you're like, you know what, this is just a boring day, maybe you miss this first push to the upside, it's very much okay to take the rest of the day off. Remember, you don't have to trade every day, or maybe you want to come back for power hour and see if there's any exciting movement going into Nvidia's earnings and play some breakouts, breakdowns there. Maybe you just set some alerts the way I did, set a breakout alert and a breakdown alert on the SPY and the Qs, turn it on your phone, and then walk away and come back if the breakout ever happens. But don't let yourself get so bored to death that you start seeing things that aren't there and like take trades that you know you shouldn't be in. Because if anything, we're range bound, and now we're range bound within the range bound. We had one range that we didn't move, and then minutes later we got caught up in an even smaller, tighter range, and we're not moving from there. Like, it's just nothing is really going on. maybe Nvidia is going to push 132 here. Could be interesting. I'm wondering if Apple's going to recover. I'm almost back to break even here. Come on. Back to break even. Come on. Just let's push 72. Let's push 73. Push a quick push of 73. I can set my stop to break even, and then I can even step away for the rest of the day and just see how things play out. SPY getting a little bit of life. Right here, what is it? Is it puts closing? Nope, it's calls being purchased. Regardless, I'll take it. That's positive delta. We almost hit a new intraday high. Remember, a little bit of a pit stop at 610. Major upside target, 6,020. I think we could have some good money if we do that. Come on, Nvidia. Come on, SPY. Do it, do it, do it. Do it, do it, do it. We, on SPX, appeared to have tagged the intraday high. Like, on SPX, we perfectly tagged the intraday high. And now it's getting a little bit smacked. We're not getting the follow through you would like at first. But Mag 7, highest delta reading of the day. You see some SPY 0 DTE calls coming in on the S&P 500 complex. Almost the highest delta reading of the day. Come on. No. What is this? A double top rejection? What is this? So SPX hit the intraday high, SPY did not. Remember, they are highly, highly correlated, but the SPX is the theoretical index, while the SPY is like the real thing, like they have the underlyings within it. So there's a little bit of a drag from the time delay to be able to buy and sell, the transaction cost. So that's why sometimes you see a very slight differential between the things like SPY, VOO, and then compared to the actual index. That's exactly why, because SPX is the theoretical index, as in it doesn't have the holdings within it, and then the true process of getting the things within it, which is in the SPY, like it involves legitimate buying, legitimate selling. So there's slight time delays, there's slippage, there's transaction costs, there's some real world things that cause it to be slightly off. Well, I thought we were going to get going, but no, just knocked right back down to 6,000. Maybe we bounce off of it. We're getting the same highs and higher lows, so maybe little trend line fake out. I am slightly red on the play, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I'd rather be sitting up slightly green and just saying, should I take it? Should I not take it? Part of me wants to override my system stop and push it even closer, just to ensure that I'm green on the day. If this were to be hit right now, I think I'd be slightly red on the day. Come on, just make my life easy. Please, just make my life easy. Take out 73, I'll move my stop, and then rip like no other up to 447. Rip even higher. Hell, for all the bulls in chat, you've had a rough couple days. I'll just cheer you guys on to go higher and higher and higher. But look at, like, that's just the definition of range-bound barcoding. The market's just indecisive. Options are still leading higher, which is making me a bit more optimistic of a breakout. But really what happens is, well, what matters is the actual price, and we're just not seeing any follow-through. We're just seeing zero, even though the Mag 7 is this strong. Nvidia's intraday high, Apple's maybe curling, Microsoft is at its high. I think this is a patience play. It feels like with this much amount of upward pressure that we're gonna get the break. It's just you gotta wait. This is the dangers of playing zero DTEs, especially, well, I'm talking about the dangers of being long zero DTE premium, is because you might have the perfect setup, but it might just take so long for it to happen that by the time you get to manage it, you have like so much theta decay that your face is just ripped off. So we're waiting. Patience, patience, patience. Patience, patience, patience. Microsoft looking decent. Nvidia looking decent. You know what? Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute on all this. It's a game of patience today. Can you sit around and do nothing enough to actually make money? How's SMCI doing after, how's the market actually reacting to it? Okay, pop up to 56. not bad. Coming back down to 54, maybe putting in a higher low. Apple, Palantir, Meta, okay. Nvidia, okay. Tesla's even recovering a bit there. Dude, it just does not want to hold this breakout whatsoever. Does not want to hold this breakout. It is, at least it's above 6,000, but we have all of a sudden gone from a nice range to just nothing. Ever since 1031, we've had a range of 94. We've had a range of 10 points. It just disappeared. Mag 7 still climbing higher. SPY did try to climb higher, went flat. I thought on this pop right here, we had some call buying that came in right at 1053. I thought that was what was going to kickstart this to get going. It was this nice pop, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, follow through. But as you could see, quickly got faded. You had some put buying come in, so it just kind of neutralized that positive delta movement. And now we are back to watching paint dry. So that's what I have for you. That's pretty much it. I'm break even on this trade. Later on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it, I will post the update of how this goes. But I'm telling you right now, if you watch these charts yourself, here's my trading plan. As soon as we take out this intraday high, I will be moving right here. This intraday high of 73. As soon as we take that out, if we take that out, I'll be moving my stop all the way up to break even. So at that level, I'm no longer risking any money. If it quickly comes back, I'll be stopped out for break even, and then I'm done for the day. Well, regardless, I'm done for the day. This is going to be my last futures trade. I'm already over trading, so it's silly that I'm even in this one. But anyway, if we take out 73, I'm moving my stop to break even. I might manage the profit depending on whatever the current trend is, but the key thing is, where am I going to go to break even on the trade? Ooh, is it going to happen in real time? I'd like to be able to show you guys that I'm moving my stop to break even. I'm a man of my word. Come on. You could do it there, Tonto. You could do it there, old Bessie. Let's see that magic level. 73. Do I hear 73? Or is it just going to get fucking smacked? Or I could just take my 20 grand on the day and move on with my life. So many decisions. Take the 20 grand. Don't take the 20 grand. I'm already locked in 16 grand. No, don't get smacked right there. No. At least let me move my stop to break even first. Don't do it. Third time we're attempting to pick up here. Hit 605, hit 605. This is attempt numero tres, mi amigo. SPY's going, Qs are going. Tesla, Microsoft. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin's getting hit once again. MSTR saving itself at 250. That's a bit of a bummer for me. Microsoft's looking good. Son of a bitch. We're seeing the Qs have a little bit of a struggle here at that VWAP right below the intraday high. Right below the intraday high. Come on. You could do it. Just show me 70. There we go. Okay. No more risk. No matter what, worst case scenario, I'm making $16,000, $800 on 20 different accounts. No matter what, making 16K. If it comes back and tags me, of course I'm going to be bummed out. I would rather that it just rips and makes me a fuckload of money, which if this hits, it'll be $2,800 on the day, which is what, 55 grand, 56 grand. So of course I'd be stoked. No matter what, I'm guaranteed 16 grand. As this develops, let's say if it runs into a big wall somewhere, I might get out a bit earlier. So I'm not saying this is the only profit I'm going for, but what I am telling you is I'm not going to lose any money. So leaving this stream, your boy at least made 16K, and who knows, maybe this is coming from me right now. Maybe my day's torment will be over. Regardless, I'm making 16K. If it runs, it runs. If it doesn't run, this is the game of fishing. There's a lot of similarities between the game of trading, especially as a trend follower, and fishing. There's a lot of the time. Oh, is it just coming for me right now? Is it coming for me right now? Do I just want to cut bait, lock in my 20K, and move on with my life? I'll give it a second. You know what? It's a free play. But anyway, there's a lot of similarities between the games of trend following trading and fishing. There's a lot of times you cast out your bait, nothing happens, and every so often you catch that trophy fish. But most of the time you're not catching the dude, fuck. Do I just want to cut bait to keep with this analogy? Do I just want to cut it? Or am I going to get lucky? Dude, right up to that that's a solid trade. Right when it comes back in to go short and you just risk the recent high. Dude, part of me literally just wants to hit this close button, lock in my 20K and move on with my life. I'm getting so tired. Do I want to do it? But what if this is the great white? What if this is a trophy fish? I might have a trophy fish. Where are we? Nvidia's going. I like that. Apple's not dying. Microsoft looks like it wants to go. SPY tried to get going. It made a fresh high. And then it's picking up now. Maybe I just needed a bit more patience. Mag 7 flows look strong. The SPY flow is once again picking back up. All right. I'm not going to cut it early. It almost tagged me out like it did actually before. Man, if I kept that trade, that would have been beautiful. I would be in at 13 right now. I'd be up 60 points. I'd be up another $1,000. Oh, that would have been such better. But whatever. I didn't want to take risk. Like right now, I don't want to actually take any risk. That's why I'm moving my stop to break even. So you can't complain about it. You have to understand a lot of the times, if you are aggressive with moving your stop to break even, that is the trade-off that a good 30 to 40 to 50% of the time, your stop's going to be hit at break even. So if you trade in that methodology, and I'm not saying that's the only way to trade, I'm not saying that's the best way to trade, I'm just saying it's the way that I trade, you have to get used to the concept of a lot of the times you're getting knocked out at break even. It is what it is. It just is what it is. And you do it that way to minimize your risk. And every so often you catch that big runner that is a multiple unit return. So like, it's just, in my eyes, it's a very comfortable way to trade, but we are just really fucking struggling here. Really struggling on that. Whatever. All my risk is off the table. I feel like with what the market is giving us today, I'm actually pretty confident or I'm pretty happy with how I decided to trade and take advantage of this. But let's get going. Let's get going. Come on. Do I need to leave quickly? I might be able to stay a little bit longer with you guys. I just need to see what time my next meeting is at. Yeah, your boy has meetings. Nothing to brag about, but I do get invited to meetings every so often. Yeah, I'm a big meeting guy. All right, up 16. This is the max profit I could go for. 58. That's the max I could go for. So this will be a return of 2,200 or zero. 2,200 plus 800 means my net return would be $3,000. $3,000 times 20 accounts would be another 60 grand for your boy. All right. Like I said, be careful of a little hiccup here at 6,010, slightly above where we are on the SPY, basically 599, I don't know, call it 70, maybe roughly. Be careful of a hiccup there. And then if we clear that, the 6,010 thing, then from there, a whole nother 10 points higher, which would be another $1 higher on the SPY roughly, which would bring us to just below 601. And that would be kind of what I'm anticipating the extent of today's move is, with higher probability. With lower probability, yeah, of course we could keep going, but I'm in this for higher probability setups and higher probability trades. So That's how I view the market. Obviously, if you view the market in another way and you're consistently profitable, I am not telling you to switch to my methodology because, hey, there are many ways to skin a cat. And what I do is not by any means the end all be all. So if you are consistently net profitable and you're like, dude, I don't like the way this ugly motherfucker with a really cool beard trades anyway, I understand it. I don't blame you. But if you're a person, you're like, you know what? I'm not profitable and maybe I need to change up my trading strategy a little bit. This might be something worthwhile to consider. So I got to go. I got to dip. Remember, Apex, if you want to trade with someone else's money the way I am right now, the code Goonie will get you 80% off. And then that's not the only one I use. I also use Take Profit. Those are the two that I use. Once again, code Goonie will get you a discount there as well, 50%. So just wanted to call those out. They're pinned to the top of chat. They're in the description of the video. But the key thing is when you're getting the accounts to use that code Goonie, Goonie, to get a discount. And then as always, if you want to join up with the Discord, the code Goonie there will get you free access for an entire month. So I basically always just try to use that code Goonie. So that's what I have. So check all that stuff out. Any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me, MMK147 on Discord or media@MatthewKohrs at gmail.com if you want to shoot me an email if you're not the best with using Discord. So that's what I have for you. As I alluded to, I have some meetings to go take care of. We'll be posting an update video later on today, and then we're going to be streaming once again tomorrow morning. So I hope to see you there. Thank you for all the good vibes. I hope you're killing it. I hope you're making a killing, just stuff in your bag with Tendies on this Vana rally that we so perfectly called out this morning. I hope you crushed it. I hope you understand it. And I hope you make even more money than you're currently up. That's what I have for you right now. I love you all. I appreciate the good vibes. Peace.